The alerts that changed everything. On August 2, 2007, Eddie began his search. Behind the sofa, alert. In the wardrobe, alert. On Cuddle Cat, alert. On Kate's clothes, alert. In the trunk of the Renault Scenic, strongest alert yet. Each location carried the scent of human decomposition. The dog that knew, the scent of silence. The air that held a secret. In apartment 5A, the air was still. To human eyes, nothing was wrong. Just another vacation rental in Praia da Luz. But Eddie, the cadaver dog, knew better. As he entered the room, his body stiffened. His tail locked. His breath changed. Then came the alert, a sharp, trained bark that echoed through the silent apartment. Eddie wasn't just sniffing. He was remembering. Remembering the scent of death that humans had long since erased. The dog that never failed. Eddie wasn't an ordinary dog. He was a Springer Spaniel with over 200 cases, and 0 false alerts. Trained to detect cadaverin, a chemical released during human decomposition, he could smell death in concentrations as low as 1 part per trillion. That's like finding a single drop in an Olympic-sized pool. When he alerted, investigators listened. But in Madeleine's case, they didn't. The alerts that changed everything. On August 2, 2007, Eddie began his search. Behind the sofa, alert. In the wardrobe, alert. On Cuddle Cat, alert. On Kate's clothes, alert. In the trunk of the Renault Scenic, strongest alert yet. Each location carried the scent of human decomposition. And Kila, the blood detection dog, confirmed, human blood in the same spots. This wasn't coincidence. This was pattern. The car that wasn't there. The most disturbing alert came in the trunk of a Renault Scenic, a car the McCanns rented 24 days after Madeleine vanished. How could a dog smell death in a car that didn't exist when she disappeared? The Portuguese police believed the body had been moved. The British dismissed it as contamination. But the dogs didn't lie. They only reported. The DNA that wasn't enough. Samples from the car trunk showed a partial DNA match, 15 out of 19 markers to Madeleine. Not enough for a conviction. The Forensic Science Service called it inconclusive. But why would her DNA be in a rental car? And why would an abductor leave such a trace? The McCanns said it was contamination. But the dogs didn't lie. The parents' reaction. When told about the alerts, Kate and Jerry didn't demand answers. They didn't ask for more tests. They dismissed the dogs. Jerry said, cadaver dogs aren't admissible in court. Kate suggested the scent came from rotting meat or dirty diapers. For many, this reaction wasn't grief. It was deflection. The investigation that split in two. By 2007, the case had split into 2 worlds. Portugal believed Madeleine died in the apartment. Parents covered it up. UK believed a stranger abducted her. Parents were victims. 2 nations. 2 truths. 1 child. The Arguido status. On September 7, 2007, Kate and Jerry were named Arguidos, formal suspects. Portuguese police offered Kate a deal, confess to an accident, get 2 years. She refused. The next day, they left Portugal. Not as fugitives, but as suspects who had the right to leave. The book that told the truth. In 2008, Goncalo Amaral, the former lead detective, published The Truth of the Lie. He wrote, all the evidence points to the death of Madeleine in the apartment and the concealment of the body by her parents. The McCanns sued. The book was banned. But the truth remained. Operation Grange. In 2011, the UK launched Operation Grange, a £13.6 million investigation. But it had a different focus. A stranger did it. They dismissed the dog alerts. They ignored the DNA. They looked for a predator, not a cover-up. The German suspect. In 2020, German prosecutors named Christian Bruckner as the prime suspect. A convicted child predator. Cell records placed him in Praia da Luz that night. But no forensic evidence links him to the crime. No DNA. No witness. Some believe this is a convenient scapegoat, a way to close the case without confronting the uncomfortable truth. The contradiction that can't be ignored. If Bruckner took Madeleine, why did the dogs alert in the apartment and the car? If the McCanns hid her body, why was there no body? The case is not a puzzle with missing pieces. It's a paradox, where two truths cannot coexist. The silence that was a choice. Stellander sent an anonymous email, "It's about to be discovered." No threats. No specifics. Just a whisper. What happened next? No press statement. No denial. Instead, they returned to spot one. Again. And again. This wasn't panic. It was fear. The kind of fear that only comes from knowing you're close to being caught. The final question. We may never know what happened in apartment 5A. But we know this. The dogs smelled death. The window had no forced entry. The McCanns visited a hill like a grave. And the world believed a story crafted by experts. The truth? It's not in the headlines. It's in the silence of a hill at night. And in the flowers that keep returning. The truth that waits. Truth doesn't require belief to exist, Stellander wrote. It waits patiently in the evidence, whether we choose to see it or not. So the question remains. Is Madeleine buried on that hillside? And if she is, will anyone ever dare to dig it up? The warning. The Madeleine McCann case is not just about a missing child. It's a cautionary tale of how truth can be buried by media manipulation, institutional complicity, public emotion, a narrative too convenient to question. If a system can rewrite the story of a missing child, it can rewrite anything. And once truth is surrendered to power, it may never return. The silence that was a pact. The Tapas 7 weren't just friends. They were witnesses. And their silence speaks louder than words. Over 17 years, not one changed their story. No one saw the open window. No one heard Kate scream. No one noticed Jerry's absence. They all repeated the same script. We were at the table. We trusted the checks. But their silence wasn't just loyalty. It was complicity. And the longer it lasted, the harder it became to break, not because of what they'd lose, but because of what the world would say. Why didn't you come forward sooner? The diary that was a confession. In her 2011 book, Kate wrote, "I know the truth. We know the truth. Not, I hope she's alive. Not, I believe she's out there. But, we know. This is not grief. It's burden. The burden of a truth too dangerous to speak, but too heavy to carry alone." The final silence. 17 years later, there are still no charges. No trial. No body. Just a timeline riddled with contradictions and a trail of broken possibilities. But in the silence of a hill at night, in the petals of a forgotten flower, in the echo of a child's cry, the truth may still be waiting. Not in a file. Not in a courtroom. But in the things left unsaid. In the things no one dares to explain. The lesson in the silence. Perhaps the lesson this case leaves behind is not a clear answer, but warnings, lessons carved into silence. From the very beginning, one truth should have been sacred: the crime scene. Apartment 5A wasn't just where Madeleine disappeared. It was the only place where the truth may have left its fingerprints. But in the hours that followed, the scene was walked through, touched, cleaned, compromised. And with each step, something critical may have been erased forever. The silence that was a confession. 48 questions. 48 silences. Not, I don't know. Not, I can't remember. Just, nothing. In a case where every second mattered, where every detail could lead to a child, a mother chose not to speak.
They hate you.